The governor's race has seen some big names weigh in so far, including State Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas as well as President Trump. The big name that has yet to make an endorsement, however, Gavin Newsom.
I had an opportunity to work with every single person that is running for that office, and I've had the privilege of working and partnering with them in many different capacities over many, many years, and I respect their willingness to put themselves out.
While the governor stays on the sidelines, the race to replace him is certainly heating up, culminating in last night's debate. Eric Swalwell's sudden exit amid sexual misconduct allegations, which he denies, has shaken up the contest and given Javier Becerra a noticeable boost in recent polling. Still, the race is very much wide open. Democrats now worry they could be boxed out of the November ballot under California's top two primary system, where only two highest vote getters will advance. And all of this is happening just weeks before ballots start landing in voters' mailboxes. Sacramento State political science professor Wesley Hussey shared his perspective on the race.
I think part of it is Democrats are concerned about the chaos of this primary. There was a lengthy concern for a while that maybe even two Republicans would advance to the general election. I always thought that was a rare chance, but it was enough of one that I know Democrats were really concerned. But then the other question is, who do we back and who's an establishment mainline Democrat? And Swalwell really has no California government experience. But I think that the Democrats got behind him and maybe reluctantly endorsed him and saw him as a mainstream endorsement kind of Democrat they could get behind. With his removal from the race, I think a lot of Democrats looked again at someone like Becerra, who had been, an assembly member briefly, a longtime member of Congress, the state attorney general, as well as federal cabinet secretary. So they thought, this is a person who's been around for a while. Will do the good job and also knows California politics really well.
And meantime, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, he obviously holds a lot of sway with Democrats here in the state, but he has remained on the sidelines. Why do you think that is?
This is a really tough spot for Governor Newsom because he's clearly running for president in 2 years. And I think he doesn't want to upset any part of his California base as he's thinking about running for the Democratic nomination. So I think, usually the governor would have a bigger say here. And I think he's intentionally stayed out of this race for kind of political expediency purposes. But it's not. It's very unusual for the governor not to have a say or a voice in this process.
Ballots start going out here in the next few weeks. Voters are really only starting to tune in now. What should we expect moving forward? Are Democrats really at risk of being boxed out of this general election?
Well, so I think this is the time when that money gets spent. This is the time when you see the TV commercials, the commercials on streaming services. That's a way that historically California politicians have appealed to voters, is through television and through the media. And so this is, as you said, the kind of the good few weeks before ballots come out for candidates to make their strong appeal. So I think that, I think we're going to see a lot more element of candidates getting into the mix now. And then also this is the time when voters start paying attention. So, I think they got a little bit of a jump up because Swalwell's collapse and the horrible scandal. So now they're like, oh, well, who's still in this race? Oh, what do they stand for? So it's kind of a great opportunity now for voters and candidates to kind of intermix themselves. I think to the issue of the Republicans, Democrats got a huge gift from President Donald Trump by him endorsing one of the two Republican candidates, which I think will coalesce the vote behind Steve Hilton in a way that almost guarantees him a spot in the general election, but then makes it almost impossible for the other Republican to win that second spot. So Democrats should be thankful for President Trump for interfering in the process and basically letting one of the Democrats advance the general election and almost certainly then at that point winning in November.
It certainly is quite the interesting race. So Wesley Hussey, professor of political science at Cal State University, thank you so much for your time and your insights, sir. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.